Hey guys, and welcome back to Seed Saving Wednesday. Today I want to talk about a couple of things and kind of show you some stuff. One thing seed saving is definitely you got to think about is the patience it takes to do this, and realizing that just like in your regular garden when you're growing stuff, you don't have everything ready to harvest all at the same time. And same thing with your seeds; they're not going to all be ready to go all at the same time. They're going to be ready at different stages and at different times, and you need to be paying attention to when the seeds get dried out, and they take longer to dry out than what you might actually think, and you want to get them right at that right time frame. Otherwise, if you could have seeds just laying in the garden, which that's another thing you got to be ready for. You're going to have seeds that are going to be planted where you don't want them planted, and so that's just going to be part of this process if you want to save your seeds. So let me show you a couple of things, especially with like what I'm looking at today. A couple of things specifically: the beets, the radishes, and the carrots. I guess that's the now that I think about it, that's what we've been looking at all along. Although yeah, I do the rutabagas. I've got something over there I want to kind of show you too. So let me turn around and show you the beets and kind of show you what I'm talking about. So here are the beets. They're kind of all sprawled out in here, and at first glance, taking a look at this, they look like they are all green. But here's where you kind of need to start paying attention. I may get you a little bit closer here. You start having guys like this that are all turning brown. And when you watch other videos, you kind of tend to start seeing, all of them are brown, and they go harvest them all at the same time, and it's all one big old harvest, when in reality, these are just like anything else in your garden. They don't all get ripe at the same time. So it is now time to go harvest a thing of beets. Let me zoom that. Hopefully, I don't know if I got that. It's now time to go start harvesting beets. And that's a whole stem of beets. And it figures I brought a bag over here just for this purpose. Just kind of put them in. So I've got a lot more in there that I need to go harvest. And then we've got the radishes here. They are definitely producing lots of pods. Now these are the short radishes, the short-term radishes. And so pay attention to the radish and how long it actually takes to produce, because these red ones are producing pretty quick. If I walk over here to the watermelon radishes, they are barely even thinking about putting on any pods, if any. I'm not seeing any pods on there at all at this point. And these have been flowering not quite as long as the other ones. The other ones have been going a little bit longer, but they're taking longer. And so I don't know how long it's going to actually take for these to create pods. And while we're here, now these carrots are starting to definitely dry out and starting to be ready, but you got to pay attention to the different ones. I know there was like this one here is already kind of dried out, and I could probably knock a few seeds off of that. Matter of fact, the thing is broke. I do need to, well, I guess we'll just harvest that whole batch. I'll come back in a little bit, and this whole batch needs to go into the harvest basket. Didn't mean to do that. That's what happens when you're operating the camera and trying to do stuff with one hand. But then you got all these orange carrots while I'm here. They seem to be taking forever to dry out and get seeds and stuff like that. But you can come over here and see these radishes here. They're creating a lot of pods. Now what you could do, those are actually good to eat just as is. Grow them just for those alone. But this is, this brings up a whole nother thing. It's not wouldn't be a bad idea when you're looking to save some of these for seeds, is to put something like a tomato cage around them, keep them all upright and stuff so they don't fall over and break over. Because I know I've got one stem over here that's right there that, you know, fell over and broke the other day. And it looks like it's still green, still doing what it needs to be doing, but if this had a cage around it, it might help. Same way with the beets, for that matter. Had I put a cage around it and could have trellised all of this fun stuff up, it might not be quite as sprawled and stuff like this. It might have created a little bit different, been a little bit easier to get to. And I think that's one of the things with why I'm doing this, so you can kind of see the characteristics and what it's going to look like in the process. Because, you know, we always see it at the beginning. You see the planting and you see the, you know, maybe the final harvest kind of stuff, but you don't really get to see it throughout the process. What's the life cycle, what's the characteristic of the plant going to look like. And I'm coming over here to the rutabagas. So we've talked about before that we've harvested a few of these already, but here's kind of like an example of what I'm talking about, right? I need to go through here and harvest some of these that are all brown, but they're right next to some that are green, which makes that a little bit challenging, because you got to try to figure out how to get those out without breaking pods apart. And then this was one where up along the stem they're, you know, browning and drying out, but at the tip of the stem they're still kind of green. And then the one guy that's, you know, really big over there, he's flowering, but he's not doing anything to put out seeds yet, or put out seed pods. So some of this can be a little bit challenging, trying on your patience for sure, because that's one thing you definitely need through this process. And here we are almost into July, and we're still looking at trying to harvest seeds in this bed. And this is a whole bed that could have been producing more food. So it's an investment of your time for sure, and time, space, and you're putting off stuff for future, so that you don't have to buy resources later. And so that's one of the things you got to consider. How long does this stuff take? I mean, these rutabagas have been in the ground since, you know, almost, you know, going on the 8 or 9 months right at this point. Same way with the carrots. So this is not a short-term process, this is a long-term process. And then you got, you know, it doesn't look as pretty as you would typically see, and so you got to put up with that as well. So just some of the things I kind of wanted to put out there and kind of show you what's kind of going on. But now I need to try to go through here and harvest some beet seeds and get some of the dry ones out of there and see what we can do about doing some of that. Still, one of the things we need to pay attention to is what to look for when the radish seeds dry up. When are those ready to be harvested? I need to go do a little bit of research on that and kind of start checking some of that stuff out as well. So just a couple of challenges I wanted to bring you on the seed saving part, and things you need to pay attention to is, just like in your regular garden, when you're saving seeds, not everything is ready to be harvested all at the same time. So that's it. I just kind of want to bring a couple of those things to your attention, show you some of the progress of how some of the stuff is going. And you know what, we need to know the good along with the bad. It's great to know that we're going to save a ton of seeds going into the next gardening season, but it's also, we got to know what the price is that we got to pay and what to expect from the plants, and how can we better improve upon that going forward. So, lesson learned for this week. God bless, have a great week, and we'll see you on the next video.